night didn't start strange. Rain tapped glass steady. A sitcom droned low, and I scrolled mindlessly through headlines. Routine. Nothing heavy. Then the TV cut to black. The laugh track choked mid-giggle, replaced by a siren tone that stabbed through my skull. Red letters scrolled. Emergency alert system. I braced for the usual weather map, canned instructions. Instead came a voice, dragged slow, vowels warped like tape chewed and spliced. Do not put on the mask. Static swallowed the words. Then, if you already have, do not remove it. The screen froze, white hiss roared, and then silence. The sitcom returned as if nothing happened. Actors laughed too late, mouths opening before sound followed. My arm prickled, not goosebumps, pins inside the skin sparking. I rubbed hard, but the charge stayed. Phone lit with chatter. Screenshots, shaky videos, frantic threads. Some joked, some didn't. One post froze me. Saw it too. Someone standing outside my house in a mask. They haven't moved. I locked the screen. Trolls. Just trolls. But the air in my living room felt thick, like the walls had leaned in to listen. I cracked the curtain. Rain slicked the street. Cars hunched in driveways, windows blank. No one out there. Still, the silence between gusts pressed wrong, like the block was holding its breath. I let the curtain drop. I went through the motions. Rinse mug, check kettle, stack dishes. Procedural. Normal. Don't think. That's when I saw the box. It sat against the front door. I hadn't heard a knock. Cardboard sagged wet. No label, just tape slapped careless across the top. My pulse stuttered, then hammered double to catch up. I told myself it was a mistake, a delivery dumped on the wrong porch, but my hands shook as I dragged it in. The tape tore easy, inside white mask. Not plastic, not cloth, smooth, gleaming faint like damp skin. Holes cut too round, too deep. At the bottom, a wet shine caught the light. I didn't touch it. Couldn't. My chair screeched back across tile as I stepped away. The thought came sudden, uninvited. It already knows I'm here. I grabbed my phone, snapped a picture. The image glitched, static tearing through, mask stretched wide, eyes glowing like caught headlights. I deleted it fast, thumb trembling. The TV in the other room clicked on its own. Same siren tone. Louder. Do not put on the mask. The phrase repeated, layered voices stacking until it sounded like a crowd chanting. Remote in hand, I slammed the power button. The screen ignored me. Do not put on the mask. Do not. Image tore across the static, just a flash, but clear. The mask, filling the screen. Hollow eyes, teeth behind it. The remote dropped from my hand. Sitcom resumed. A laugh track sputtered, late and broken. I stumbled back to the kitchen. The mask sat untouched on the counter. The air pressed close. Corners of the room felt sharp, wrong, as if they'd shifted closer while I looked away. I tried to throw the box out, but my hand wouldn't release it. Fingers locked, knuckles aching. I cursed and slammed it back onto the counter. That's when the knocking came. 3 taps on the living room window. Not a knock, a rhythm, deliberate. I froze. Curtain swayed just slightly. No footsteps, no voice, only the echo of those taps in my head. The sitcom burbled faint behind me, laugh track stuck on loop. And the mask waited, white and patient, listening. I didn't sleep, not after the knocks. I sat with every light burning, eyes fixed on the curtain. It breathed with the wind, hiding whatever waited outside. The mask stayed in the kitchen, white and patient, catching the dim glow. My phone buzzed nonstop. Threads swarmed with shaky footage. Masked figures under street lamps, unmoving. One video caught itself in reflection, the filmer standing there, masked instead. I killed the screen. My hands wouldn't steady. Pounding on my door jolted me upright. Through the peephole, Jeff, soaked, face wild. I cracked the door. "What?" "They're out there," he hissed. Rain clung to his lashes. "By my window, just watching." I glanced past him. Empty street. "There's no one. They wear those masks." His whisper cracked, broke. "Don't look too long. Don't." Lightning flared. For a breath, a shape leaned out from his hedge, tall, rigid. Darkness snapped it back. "Go home, Jeff." My voice shook. He kept staring over his shoulder. "Don't open your door again tonight." He bolted. I slammed the lock. The mask had moved. It sat bare on the counter now, eye holes catching me. "I didn't touch you," I muttered. The fridge hummed, then cut mid-cycle. Silence thickened. The TV shrieked alive. Black screen. White words jittered across. "If the mask appears, do not move it. If you see someone wearing it, do not acknowledge them. If you hear yourself in the mask, leave your house immediately." The text bled into itself, smeared white against black. My dead phone lit. Screen cracked, battery swollen. Still it glowed with the same words. "Do not move it." I dropped it, screen down. The glow leaked through the cracks. Tile scraped. The mask lay on the floor, rocking faintly like it had been set there seconds ago. I wanted to run, but my body locked. So I reached for a procedure. I grabbed a notebook and scrawled the rules. Rule number 1, don't wear it. Rule number 2, don't take it off. Rule number 3, don't move it. Rule number 4, don't acknowledge the masked. Rule number 5, leave if you hear yourself. Letters jagged with my shaking hand, but it was solid. Ink on paper, a tether. The air tasted metallic, coppery. I thought of Jeff, eyes rolling, whisper cracking. Thought of what might have stood by his hedge. I dragged a chair under the doorknob. Double locks clicked twice. The mask rocked slower, then stilled. I forced myself into motions, washing a plate, wiping counters. Every few breaths I checked the mask. Still there, waiting. Midnight crept past. Storm dwindled to drizzle. The clock ticked dry, empty seconds. I let myself sink into the couch. Just for a second, eyes closed. Then my own voice slid from the kitchen. "Come see what I look like in it." I lurched upright, notebook clutched tight. The house held still. I crept forward. Boards groaned. The mask wasn't on the floor anymore. It waited back on the counter, upright as if placed with care. A dark ring stained the tile beneath, wet and wide, like it had bled something out. "I'm not putting it on," I whispered. The fridge hummed again. Lights steadied. Curtains stilled. But the air pressed heavier, syrup thick. I looked at my notebook for grounding. The rules blurred, letters crawling. Line 5 didn't read "leave if you hear yourself" anymore. It read, "You already did." I didn't sleep. Blanket pulled high, notebook clutched. I lay on the couch listening to the house breathe wrong. Floorboards flexed like footsteps above me. The TV shrieked back on. That tone split the dark, drilling into me. The broadcast stayed longer this time. A voice, layered like many throats speaking through the same mouth, dragged out each word. "This is not a test. Do not put on the mask. If you already have, do not remove it." White text scrawled across black. Rules of survival. Rule 1. Never wear the mask. Rule 2. If you see one wearing it, do not acknowledge them. Rule 3. If the mask appears inside your home, do not move it. Rule 4. If you hear yourself wearing the mask, leave immediately. The words rotted as they cycled, letters sagging like wet chalk. My phone buzzed. A friend. You seeing this too? They're telling us rules now? Before I could type, my keyboard filled itself. You shouldn't be awake. I dropped the phone. The TV shifted into grainy film. Empty streets, cameras shaking. In every shot, if you stared long enough, a figure stood far back, white mask, unmoving. Recognition crawled cold through me. I glanced at the kitchen. The mask hadn't moved, still perched on the counter, ring of moisture beneath. But I felt it watching, like I was on the wrong end of a lens. I whispered the rules as if prayer. Don't wear, don't move, don't acknowledge, don't listen. The broadcast snapped off. Black screen, silence heavier than the tone. I boiled water, poured tea, forced my hands to steady around the mug. Normal steps, anchors. Then I saw it. A second mask. On the table, identical. No box, no trace of entry. The mug dropped, porcelain burst across the floor, steam twisting upward. The rules screamed in my head. Do not move it. I froze. The new mask dripped clear liquid. Drops tapped slow into the tablecloth, sweet sour smell rising. I turned to my notebook, sketched quick, counter and table. Pen carved lines deep, nearly ripping the page. The TV sputtered a thin laugh. Not canned, not human. An ugly sound slipped from my throat in answer. My own laugh, cracked and alien. I bit it off hard. The phone buzzed again. A new message. Don't look at them too long. From my own number. I tore the battery out. Screen glowed anyway. I needed air. I crept to the window, peeled curtain an inch. Street lamps flickered. Between blinks, figures dotted the cul-de-sac. Dozens now. Always masked. They weren't visible when the light held steady, only when it cut. Perfect stillness. Not a shift, not a breath. I don't see you, I whispered. Static stabbed my ears though nothing played. A whisper inside it, you already do. I yanked the curtain shut. Cleaned. Loud. Frantic. Scrubbing counters. Stacking dishes. Rattling noise into the silence. Every pass by the table, my chest seized. 2 masks now. Breathing. Yes, breathing. Slow, heavy, out of sync with me. I checked my notebook. My sketches had multiplied. Not 2, not 4. Pages filled with masks staring outward. I hadn't drawn them. I flipped quick. Wrote instead, I am not wearing it. I am not acknowledging them. Ink bled through, words carved deep. Then came the voice. Soft, from the kitchen. My voice. Come on, just try it. It already fits. The notebook bent under my grip, nails punching through cardboard. I didn't answer, couldn't. The rules burned back into my head, the only anchor I had left. But the mask stayed, multiplying, breathing, listening. And a thought looped, sour and constant, no matter how I shoved it away. What if it's already on me, and I just can't feel it yet? I lingered at the curtain too long. The streetlight blinked, and one of them faced me. No turn, no shift, just instant awareness, locked straight through the glass. I stumbled back, curtain dropped shut. The house shrank around me. In the kitchen, the masks multiplied, counter, table, floor. 3 now. I whispered the rules, breath-breaking. Don't wear, Don't move, don't acknowledge, don't listen. Static crawled under my skin. I picked up my phone. Forums buzzed, half mocking, half pleading. One thread swore the masks only appeared for those who ignored the first warning. My screen flashed white. My reflection bled into the glass, mouth stretched wide, hollow eyes staring back. I dropped it. Outside, a scrape rose, 100 shoes dragging once in unison. Then the sound of breath. Not mine, many, together. Notebook out, I wrote, I am inside. They are outside. The rules protect me. The letters slid as I wrote, slanted like someone else's hand. Thunder cracked, then broke into laughter. The TV blared. Not warnings, a feed. My living room grainy, delay of seconds. Then I walked into frame. Not me. Mask over my face, posture jerky, every move too stiff. It sat on the couch, tilted its head back, listening. I couldn't move. I hurled the remote. The image rippled, stayed. A knock at the door, 3 sharp raps. Don't open, I whispered. It repeated harder. Through the peephole, Jeff. Rain plastered his hair. Lips moved too slow. Please, he rasped. Let me in. His eyes didn't blink. I pressed my forehead to the door. Say something only you'd know. He leaned close. His voice dropped deep, warped. You already wore it. I reeled back. Knocking erupted, wild fists rattling wood. Then silence. I didn't check again. The masks had multiplied. 5 now. Counter, table, floor, couch, wall. The couch one leaned slightly, like nodding. I forced movement, washed a dish, scrubbed hard until my skin split. Noise to drown the quiet. Every glance back, they'd shifted closer. The notebook flipped itself open. Ink crawled across the page. You are being measured. My stomach turned cold. I taped the page shut. Then came the voice. Mine muffled like through cloth. Come see how well it fits. The masks inhaled as one. Slow, heavy. I clamped my hands over my ears, but the sound pulsed inside my skull, behind my teeth. I fled to the bathroom, flipped the light. My reflection lagged, just a breath. And in that delay, it wore the mask. I slammed my fist into glass. Webs spread across it. Blood welled bright across my knuckles. Every shard still showed the mask intact. I wrapped my hands sloppy just to keep moving. Procedure. Anchor. The house groaned. A door creaked open though all were locked. I grabbed a kitchen knife, blade shaking. The masks waited, still, listening. The TV flashed white, pulse text. If you are seeing more than one, you are already counted. The words seared, then vanished. I stared at them, 5, gleaming, breath thick in my throat. And the truth struck cold. They weren't multiplying. They were closing in. By dawn, the storm was gone, but the silence pressed heavier than thunder. The masks hadn't vanished. Counter, table, couch, floor, wall, frozen like jurors waiting for my sentence. My bandaged hand pulsed. I forced anchors. Rinse a glass, tighten the lock, write a line in the notebook. But every step felt brittle, ready to crack under the wrong sound. The TV flared. A news anchor smiled too wide. The voice lagged, warped. There is no emergency. False alerts were transmitted. There is nothing to fear. The grin didn't fade. Behind him, in the corner of the set, a figure stood, white mask catching light. Each cutaway, it edged closer. The anchor never looked back. I flipped channels. Every station the same script, same grin, same figure in the shadows. I killed the TV. The quiet throbbed worse. Radio next. Static hiss, then a voice scraped like stone. We deny nothing. We admit nothing. Continue as normal. I snapped it off. The house leaned in around me, masks breathing without sound. So I left. Notebook under my arm, knife pressed to my sleeve. I cracked the door. The cul-de-sac sprawled gray, washed clean, windows blank. Jeff's curtains hung open, but no movement inside. The air was wrong, no wind, no birds, no cars. I forced myself forward. Every step crunched gravel too loud. At the street's end, a figure stood. Too tall, too rigid, mask gleaming in daylight. I turned fast into an alley. Notebook flapped open, pages shifting. My sketches blurred, but a new page stared back. Old newsprint clippings pasted in. Headline faint. 1974. Mask incidents dismissed as hoax. I hadn't drawn it, hadn't pasted it. The ink smudged warm under my palm. The alley spat me onto the library steps. Doors unlocked, yawning wide. Inside smelled of dust and mold. Desks overturned. Computers dead. I slipped into archives. Boxes stacked high, labels smeared. I dug until my hands blackened with ink and mildew. Then I found reels, microfilm. I cranked the viewer alive. Gears groaned. Bulb flickered, then held. The screen lit with black and white streets. Masked rows standing silent. Police herded them toward vans. Headlines crawled across. Mass delusion. No threat too public. But the film betrayed them. The masked didn't resist. They stood until touched. Then frames warped, cut out, like the real refused to show the rest. One frame stuck, a mask splitting, skin beneath stretching too thin, mouth opening wider than bone should allow. The reel snapped, bulb popped black. Silence again. Then breathing. Slow, heavy. I turned. In the stacks, a figure stood, mask white in the dark. My knife shook in my hand. Blood roared in my ears. The rules screamed back, don't acknowledge. So I didn't. Eyes down, steps slow, notebook against my chest. Each step creaked. The breathing stayed steady. I reached the door. Outside, the street stretched empty again. My knees buckled. I slid against brick, notebook falling open in my lap. Fresh ink scrawled across a blank page. You will be archived too. I carried the words out of the library with me, heavy as iron. You will be archived too. The morning light looked wrong. Flat, painted on. Shadows stuck too long at corners. Flyers plastered every lamppost. Emergency protocol update. Same rules, but with one more. If masks multiply, remain still until counted. The letters writhed when I stared. For a moment, they were faces, hollow eyes boring through paper. I ripped one down, jammed it into my notebook, slammed the cover. The street stirred. People moved stiff like joints grinding. Some barefaced, some masked. Neither group looked at the other. A woman in a mask walked past, her child clutching her hand. The boy cried, "Mommy!" His voice cracked. She didn't look down, just walked. I backed into an alley, while burning my throat. My phone buzzed, screen alive though I'd thrown the battery. New alert. Count in progress. Remain visible. The text pulsed red, then black. I hurled it into a dumpster. The clang rang too long, as if the pit had no bottom. Backstreets stretched deserted. Billboards glitched. Models' faces swapping for masks mid-smile. Shop windows reflected me wrong. Lagging, sometimes masked, sometimes absent. Payphone rang. The sound cut like a blade. I knew I shouldn't answer. But procedure, always procedure, dragged me. Receiver cold in my hand. My own voice hissed, "Stop running. They've already marked you." The line cut. I turned, catching my reflection in the booth glass. Masked, grinning. I smashed the pane with the receiver. Shards glittered at my feet. I ran until streets blurred. Another cul-de-sac. Not mine, identical. Houses lined neat, curtains shut. In every driveway, a masked figure stood, still, watching. Dozens. My chest seized. I stumbled back, notebook trembling open in my hands. The flyer I'd torn writhed into new words. "If you resist, you will be filed." Filed, like a document. I dropped to my knees and scrawled fast. "I am not wearing it. I am not acknowledging them. I am not counted." Ink spread wild, letters bleeding into black smears. A laugh ripped sharp from a nearby window. TV glowed. The anchor again. Same grin, same cadence. "There is no emergency. Please remain calm." I hurled my knife. Glass shattered, voice cut. But the laughter spread. Not one house, every house. Windows flared blue, anchors smiling in unison. And in the corner of each broadcast, the mask stood closer. The air hummed with static thick enough to taste. Voices layered from every screen. "Remain still, remain still, remain still." The masked in the driveways tilted their heads together. Not at the houses. At me. My knees buckled. The rules hammered inside me. Don't acknowledge. I shut my eyes, notebook clutched like scripture. My breath stuttered ragged. But I felt it, dozens of hollow stares burning through me. A whisper crawled from my throat. Not mine. "You've already joined." I bit down hard until my jaw screamed. When I opened my eyes, the cul-de-sac was empty. Curtains drawn, windows dark, no figures, no screens. I staggered out. Notebooks slipped from my arms, pages flaring across the pavement. Every sheet bore the same words in my handwriting, though I hadn't written them. "You will be counted. You will be archived." The letters pulsed faint, as if breathing. I didn't go home. Home wasn't mine anymore. The streets folded into repeats. Same cul-de-sacs, same houses, same curtains. Each turn brought more still figures waiting in driveways. By the time my feet split and bled, the sky still hadn't shifted past that gray daylight. Time refused to move. The notebook dragged against my ribs. Every page identical now. "You will be counted. You will be archived." I tore them out, but the words returned, stamped like forms. Not a record anymore. A file. Then I saw the hospital. Glass doors hung open, lights stuttering inside. Hospitals meant rules. Procedure. Maybe here order still held. The lobby reeked of antiseptic and dust. Rows of chairs filled with upright figures, each face sealed behind a mask. Not patients, not visitors, just waiting. Overhead, a speaker crackled. "Now serving number 31. Every figure raised a hand together, fingers pointed up, then dropped. The sound of my pulse roared. The speaker buzzed again. "Now serving number 32. Masks turned toward me. I bolted down a corridor. Doors slammed behind me without touch. Fluorescents strobed, painting the hall in sick frames. Gurneys lined the walls, straps buckled tight though no bodies lay there. One door swung open on its own ER triage. Inside, curtains half-drawn. The stink of iron hit my throat. A man lay on a bed, chest rising slow. Mask sealed tight. His hands clawed at sheets. His legs kicked weak. I stepped closer, knife trembling. "Hey!" His head snapped. The mask split down the center. Skin peeled. Inside wasn't flesh. It was paper. Layers shoved deep, stamped black, counted, archived, filed. The sound that poured out wasn't a scream. It was drawers slamming shut. I dropped the knife. The bed folded inward, swallowing him like a cabinet. Curtains around the room quivered. I knew there were more, rows of them. The intercom shrieked, "Now serving number 33. Every curtain whipped back, beds full, bodies masked, heads turned together. I ran. Hallways stretched longer with every step. Elevators blinked, refusing to open. The stairwell seethed with masks glowing faint in stacked shadow. I shoved into a supply closet, slammed the lock. Dark, dust choking, shelves of gauze and 4 bags pressing in. The notebook opened itself. Fresh text scrawled across the page. Procedure. Remain still. You will be filed shortly. I ripped it out, crammed the paper into my mouth, chewed until pulp stung my tongue, swallowed hard. Ink burned down my throat. The notebook wrote again. Noncompliance noted. I lashed gauze tight around it, shoved it under a shelf. Knock. Soft, patient. I gripped the knife with a bloody hand. Another knock. A voice followed, mine but steady. You're making this harder. Just follow procedure. It won't hurt if you let it happen. I pressed my forehead to my knees, whispering the old rules. Don't wear. Don't move. Don't acknowledge. Don't listen. The voice murmured the new ones through the door. Remain still. Remain visible. Be counted. Each word slithered into my bones. Then silence. The door eased open on its own. I lifted the knife, chest heaving. The hall stretched empty except for the floor. Masks lay stacked in neat piles, like files waiting shelves. Each one breathed faint, chests rising though no bodies attached. Static hummed in the walls. I tightened my grip, blood slick on the hilt, and stepped out. The corridor stretched like a filing drawer pulled too far. Masks stacked neat on the floor, each rising with phantom breath. I stepped between them. Their hollow eyes followed without moving. The intercom cracked overhead. Now serving number 34. The mask sighed as one, damp and heavy. I kept walking. Every door swung open a fraction, hinges groaning, waiting for me to choose. One room dragged me inside. Not sound, silence thicker than the rest. Fluorescent glare. Metal cabinets lined the walls, drawers stamped in sequence. I pulled one open. A face stared back, flattened, skin stretched to parchment, eyes blinking slow. No mask, but the outline burned into flesh like scars. I shoved the drawer closed, breath shaking. Another drawer slid out on its own. Then another. Cabinets yawned wide, spilling faces stacked like files. Their mouths twitched, whispering in layers. File me back. File me through. One drawer banged open hard. A body toppled out, folded at the joints, limbs creased, torso bent like origami. When the mouth opened, stamped pages spilled out. Counted, archived, filed. The intercom blared. Now serving number 35. Every drawer slammed shut. The silence left after rattled worse than the voices. I stumbled into the hall. The notebook thudded under my arm, pages glowing faint. I cracked it open. Words blistered across fresh paper. Your number is approaching. I bound it in gauze, but light still bled through. Then footsteps. Measured, heavy. At the far end, a figure appeared. Tall, steady, mask luminous. Clothes I knew. My jacket, my boots, even the cut bandaged on the hand. It stopped a few feet away, tilted its head. Hollow eyes drank me in. It raised a knife. My knife. The intercom hissed. Now serving number 36. I bolted. The steps followed. Not fast. Steady, deliberate, echoing like a second heartbeat. Corridors warped, doors slamming in my wake. Down stairwells into concrete halls. Basement. Pipes rattled overhead, dripping. Bulbs swayed, one flickering, then out. Against the far wall, a mark burned into concrete. A sigil, circle crossed with jagged lines, holes punched where eyes should be. The static in the air deepened, shaking the last bulb until it popped. Darkness. I flicked my lighter. Flame stuttered weak. The sigil writhed in the glow. Holes breathed. Pipes hissed scalding steam, mist white as mask flesh. Whispers rose from the dark, crawling close. Remain still. Remain visible. Be counted. I pressed the knife into my palm, blood warm and real. I won't. The whispers split, layered, furious. The notebook tore loose, pages whipping like wings. It fell at the sigil's base, opening on its own. Every page filled with the same mark. Over and over, bleeding ink. The lighter guttered. Breathing filled the basement. Not behind me, inside me, my chest rising wrong, sinking to something else. The lighter died. The room lit pale. The masked double stood inches away, knife aimed at my throat. His breath matched mine, chest rising in perfect sync. And behind the mask, faint outlines of my own face strained to break through. The intercom roared, deafening. Now serving number 37. The intercom's verdict, now serving number 37, rattled the basement walls. The double's knife pressed cold against my throat. Our breaths synced, one body split in two. I shoved hard, blade screeching off concrete. It didn't flinch. Behind its mask, my own face swam, blurred like paper soaked in water. Stop, it said steady. My voice. I backed into the sigil burned on the wall, its eye holes pulsing faint light. The notebook lay beneath, pages filling fast. Accept the mask. End the error. I kicked it shut. I won't be filed. Stepped closer, knife rising. I lifted mine, blood dripping down the hilt. Static surged. For a moment, two rooms overlapped. One with me, one with it. Mirrors. But in its version, I wore the mask. I shook my head, teeth grinding. You're not me. His head tilted. Not yet. Overhead, lights snapped on. Cabinets lined the walls where concrete had been. Drawers slid open. Faces blinked out from inside, flat and gray, whispering, "Join the file. Balance the count." The intercom blared, now serving number 38. The double lunged. Steel met steel, sparks stinging my face. Its strength was perfect, no hesitation, no error. Every move anticipated mine. I drove my knife into its shoulder. No blood, paper tore. Pages fluttered free, stamped black, archived. They clung to my arms, my face. The ink burned hot into my skin. I ripped them off, choking. Its mask hovered inches from mine. My blurred face strained behind it, lips moving. "Stop fighting," it hissed. "This is procedure." I don't follow procedure. I slammed my forehead into porcelain. A fracture spidered across its mask. It staggered. The sigil writhed, holes widening. Pale hands clawed through, pulling at air, reaching for me. The double smiled with my mouth. "You already filed when you looked." I tore free, sprinted down the corridor. Walls rose into endless filing cabinets. Drawers yawned open as I passed. Faces spilled out, muttering, pleading. Not strangers. My memories. Voices of mine. Laughter, lies, secrets I'd buried. I pressed my hands over my ears, but their words seeped through bone. The intercom shrieked, "Now serving number 39. Drawers burst, paper raining down. Pages of my handwriting. Every note, every scrap I'd ever lost. My life on stamped forms. The double steps followed. Steady, patient. I veered into a side room, slammed the door. A desk sat under dim light. On it, a ledger thick as stone. I opened it, hands shaking. Every page carried my name. Line after line, number after number. The last entry, subject filed, 39. My chest locked. The intercom clicked again. Now serving number 40. The ledger slipped from my hands. In the desk's reflection, I saw myself masked. My real face fought beneath it, pressing out. I smashed the glass. Shards scattered, each one reflecting me already masked. The door rattled, the double outside. I grabbed a shard, drove it into my palm. Blood welled hot. The reflection licked its lips. The notebook tore free, pages whipping open. Fresh words burned. If you break the count, the archive breaks you. The door burst inward. The double filled the frame, mask cracked but glowing faint. We faced each other, both blades raised, both hands bleeding. Its voice, my voice, low, inevitable. 40 belongs to me. The intercom roared. Now serving number 40. The intercom thundered. Now serving number 40. Like it had swallowed my name. The double lunged. Our knives clashed, sparks biting air. Its strength was exact. Every strike anticipated, rehearsed. I slashed its chest. Paper tore free, stamped bold, archived. They clung hot to my skin, searing brands. It leaned close, mask cracked wide. You've been processed. Stop pretending. I'm not you. It slammed me onto the desk. The ledger snapped open to a fresh line. Subject filed, 40. The double's mask tilted, smile audible. It's already written. I drove my knife into porcelain. The mask split in two. Behind it, my face stared back. Clear, grinning wrong. I dropped my blade. It bent, picked it up. Both of us armed, both bleeding from the same palm. The intercom roared. Now serving number 41. Cabinets rattled. Drawers burst, faces spilling, whispering in my own voices. Laughter I'd buried, lies I'd told. Join the file, balance the count. The double advanced through them, steps sinking mine. I hurled the ledger across the room. Pages scattered, everyone my name, my number, infinite. It walked through the storm unbothered. You are 40. I pressed my bleeding hand to the sigil carved in the wall. Blood smeared across the lines. The room shuddered. The double shrieked. My scream twisted back at me. Paper split from its chest, body collapsing into stamped shreds. The cabinets convulsed. Drawers yawned, vomiting storms of paper, voices shrieking in unison. The intercom broke into static. Then, count, error, error. The sigil pulsed red. Hands clawed through, dragging air toward the crack splitting open. The double reformed in tatters, mask dangling from skin. Stop! You'll erase us both. That's the point. The notebook tore free, pages snapping like wings. Text scorched itself. Non-compliance detected. Correction in progress. My vision doubled. One me pinned, mask sealing to my face. Another smeared blood deeper into the sigil. Both real, both true. The double clawed me, wrapping paper around my throat. Still time. Wear it. I bit down, tore free. The wall split wider. Inside stretched endless shelves, lined with my faces, all staring flat. Gravity dragged me forward. The double seized my arm, whispering steady, "Better the mask than the void." I smashed my forehead into what was left of its face. Paper burst. The crack sealed. The sigil burned black, smoke curling. The double was gone. Cabinet silent. Only me hunched in blood and ink. The notebook lay open at my feet, blank, waiting. Then words filled my hand without moving. Subject filed, 40. The notebook glared open in my lap. Subject filed, 40. I should have felt finished. Instead, static roared louder than my pulse. The cabinets were gone. Concrete bare again, but wrong. Like the world had patched itself cheap. The intercom clicked. Not a number. Correction in progress. The voice was mine. I staggered down the corridor. Walls pulsed red, doors etched with symbols, spirals, eyes, teeth. One door opened. Inside, televisions stacked to the ceiling. Every screen showed me, sleeping, eating, younger, older. Some masked, some already gone. "Stop moving," one version whispered. Another smiled. "It's easier when you give in." I stumbled out. The door sealed. Another opened. Cold air hit, morgue drawers sliding free. Every body was mine. Flat, stuffed with paper, faces peeling. One croaked, "You filed yourself the day you looked." I slammed the door shut while burning my throat. The intercom crackled again. Emergency protocol update. Rule 1, remain still. Rule 2, remain visible. Rule 3, accept the mask. Rule 4, proceed to archiving. The words sank into my bones. The notebook mirrored them in flawless black ink. I scrawled my old rules over top. Don't wear. Don't move. Don't acknowledge. Don't listen. The page turned black, swallowing my defiance. The lights blew. I inched forward blind, one hand on the wall, knife slick in the other. Static drew me onward. At the hall's end, a metal door, heavy, waiting. I shoved it open. A chamber, terminals humming, screens flickering. Emergency broadcast test. Do not panic. Beneath, faint text crawled. Subjects processed. 40 filed. 41 in progress. My stomach turned cold. One screen stuttered. On it me, sitting here staring at the screen. I reached out. My reflection reached back. The surface rippled. A hand burst through, gripping my wrist. My own. Colder. Stronger. I ripped free, skin tearing. Blood smeared across the glass. Sparks hissed. The intercom thundered. Now serving number 41. Machines clattered alive. Paper poured out in floods. Each sheet stamped with my name. Piles rose, choking me waist deep. The notebook surfaced through the storm, pages writing themselves, archive expanding. The walls split. Behind each screen, shelves. Miles of them. Faces lined the rows. Flat. All mine. They pressed forward, collapsing in. The nearest whispered, "Files don't fight." Another, "Fall in. Balance the count." The notebook scrawled new text, jagged. "You are the system." I hurled it into the avalanche. It vanished. The shelves pressed close, crushing. I whispered, confessing, "If I'm 40, then 40 cuts back." I slashed my palm open. Blood sprayed across the paper storm. Red spread fast, soaking names. The whispers cracked into screams. The chamber quaked. Shelves buckled inward. folding into themselves. The intercom stuttered, "Count, corrupted, correction pending." Static roared like the world splitting. Then silence. The shelves gone, the paper gone. I stood alone in a concrete cell. One dead light buzzed overhead. The notebook sat neatly in my lap. Fresh ink bled. Subject filed, 40, correction pending. The notebook pulsed in my lap. Subject filed, 40, correction pending. I slammed it shut. The words clung to the dark anyway, etched behind my eyes. The light buzzed once, twice, then died. Silence. Breathing filled the room, 2 sets, not one. 40, a voice whispered. My own voice. The light flickered back. A figure crouched opposite. Me but wrong. Mask fused to flesh, edges charred. It rose stiffly, knife dangling loose. Correction requires compliance. I steadied mine. I'm not wearing it. Its laugh rattled porcelain. Then you'll be worn. The notebook burst open between us, pages fluttering. Across them, correction initiated. The walls peeled apart like paper, exposing shelves that stretched into dark. Faces pressed forward, mine, flat and chanting. Count, count, count. The masked double lunged. Steel screamed against steel. The strength mirrored mine, but heavier, inevitable. You're 40, it hissed, knife grinding against my wrist. You'll never be 41. I shoved back, breath ragged. Then why are they calling it? The shelves slammed closer, jaws snapping shut. The intercom roared overhead, now serving number 41. We both froze. The notebook scrawled fresh text, selection complete, 40 filed, 41 appointed. The double twitched. His mask cracked wide, spilling static. Inside wasn't a face, only black. It dropped its knife, body collapsing into shredded paper. I staggered toward the notebook. Across the page, 41. Subject, blank. The line waited, hungry. My blood dripped onto the page. Letters spread, forming my name. The shelves screamed, faces clawing against their frames. The intercom shrieked, archive updated, broadcast pending. The shelves tore themselves apart, collapsing into spirals of ash and paper. The void rushed inward. I ran, pages dragging from my body with every step, skin thinning. The floor dissolved into static. My reflection split, 40 versions screaming, clawing free. Above, the dark lit up like a screen. Across it, emergency alert. Subject 41 initiated. Beneath, do not remove the mask. The notebook fused to my face, porcelain hardened over bone. I clawed until nails cracked, but the mask held. My breath echoed mechanical, every inhale syncing with whispers from the pages. Remain still, remain visible, accept the mask, proceed to archiving. The shelves collapsed into dust. The void sealed shut. Light returned. I was back in my apartment. The TV flickered. An alert scrolled across the bottom, emergency broadcast test. The remote slid from my hand. Skin flaked into paper. In the black reflection of the screen, the mask stared back. Seamless. Final. The intercom inside my skull clicked one last time. Now serving number 41.